and happy Halloween! As you know, or might not know, October is a really special month for me, as I released my first videos and I did my first special episode in this month last year. So, now that it's October again, I figured that it was time for me to do another special episode. So, turn the lights off and grab a beer because it's time for another Retro Game Throwdown Halloween special. Monster Bash is a side-scrolling platforming game developed and published by Apogee Software on April 9, 1993 for MS-DOS PC, but it was released on the Sega Mark II in Japan under the name Ghost House. Monster Bash is divided in 3 episodes. The first episode of the game is available to download under a shareware license, but the 2 remaining parts of the game must be purchased. The registered game also removes advertisements and reminders of the benefits of purchasing the games from the first episode and enable cheat code functionality. The first part features 10 stages with an additional 10 for the part 2 and 8 for part 3 for a total of 28 stages. However, several versions of the game is available on the internet and can be run with DOSBox. The plot is fairly simple. It is childish, but the ambience fits a Halloween game perfectly. You control Johnny Dash, whose pet dog Tex was just kidnapped by the game's main villain, Count Chuck. Wait a minute, kidnapped? I thought we could only kidnap children. Isn't it why the prefix kid should apply too? Anyway, Johnny's dog had been dog-napped, I guess, during a fearsome storm, and a friendly monster under his bed tells Johnny that many other pets have been taken away as well. Count Chuck wanted to bring them to his underworld in order to transform them all into evil monsters. The bed monster represented as eyes that obviously look more evil than anything else, then empowers Johnny with a bottomless pocket of rocks for a slingshot. Ah, a slingshot. It's true that it would have been way harder to just take a freaking gun and shoot them in the face. Stupid game. The gameplay is fairly simple. The default control is tagged to move with the arrows and to jump and shoot respectively with CTRL and Alt. The graphic is pretty nice for 1983 with a 16-color display. Even though some objects are fairly hard to distinguish from the background or from the things to avoid. I find personally the graphic wonderful for its time. The music is not bad and it will certainly be blasted through your speakers with all its DOS glory. Seriously, I love the sound of that shit. Listen to this. Enemies are based on horror monster and include disembodied crawling hands, flying witches, zombies, demons, walking skeletons, and werewolves. The game is basically a side-scrolling platforming game, and it's almost fairly fun to play once you got a hang of the particular control in order to kill your enemies and jump. The side-scrolling part is very nice for itself, as you can scroll any sides of the screen, but the platforming part is, however, where they drop the fucking ball. It is just insanely frustrating. The control feels so terribly stiff, and it's almost impossible to climb and to stay on platforms. Okay, well, fucking slingshot, shitty. Okay, now jump, 1, 2, fuck! Okay, No, don't stop jumping! God fucking cunt! The worst part of all is that you need to collect every single fucking cats and dogs or else the door doesn't open at the end. If you miss one, oh, that's nothing, my friend, you just have to backtrack. Go fuck yourself and keep backtracking through the whole fucking stage while getting gang raped by enemies or by all the fucking objects you need to avoid. It's just the first level, there is like 27 more. I guess it was okay back then, but it's fairly hard for a DOS game to hold up with today's standards. It was just funnier back in my nostalgic memories. Okay, not many people, I guess, remembers this game, but the next one, I'm sure many will recall this. I wanted to review this game for a long time, and I remember vividly many frustrating moments that resulted usually in me giving up. It is a SNES game called Demon's Crest. So let's see how it holds up today. But before diving into this game, I guess many people should remember this one. This abomination bedevils me even more. Torment and agony come rushing to my brain when I think about it, and particularly about this guy. This fucking guy tormented more gamers than any other video game characters. He is the reason of the abandon of many after their first encounter against him. But did you know that this fucker actually had at some point his own series of games? Gargoyle's Quest 1 first came out on the Nintendo Game Boy in 1990, and the sequel Gargoyle's Quest 2 was later released on the NES in 1992. Then, 2 years later, a certain game called Demon's Crest saw the light of day on the Super Nintendo. At the time, many people can do else than noticing the resemblance between Gargoyle's Quest and Demon's Crest. Well, you're not crazy, my friends. It's because Demon's Crest is indeed the sequel to Gargoyle's Quest 2, but somehow the developers felt that it was better to rename the game in the US. A decision which I think did more damages than benefits to the game itself, preventing loyal fans to even know about this fact. Demon's Crest is, of course, a platforming game oriented to explore and reach the end of stages, beating bosses on the way. This is the classic platforming style, however mixed with RPG elements. If you want my opinion, I think personally that Demon's Crest does much more than its brothers Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts. It is undeniable that I had way much fun playing this game. Well, Firebrand, or Arimer in the Japanese version, is on a quest to collect all of the elemental crest and magical stone which preside over their respective elements. It is said that when all crests are combined, the Crest of Infinity will appear, allowing its holder infinite power. Each level can be played multiple times, and you must revisit the levels with new crests to access new areas, items, and bosses that could not be accessed before. So, after you've done the prologue level, obtained some health, and killed General Ormos for the first time, obtaining the Earth Crest at the same time, let's go to level 1. This is where I fucked up personally before. You see, I used to do the Flame Lord's level and kept getting my ass handed to me by this fucking boss. So I figured it was time for me to try another level first. Let's try the level where we can buy potions and spell. There's a way we can access with the Earth Crest by charging stone statues, which we could not just before. After the first level, it's now time to take on Ovnunu, the first boss. Ah my god, this boss is fucking hard. It has 10 eyes with 3 life points each and an additional 10 points for the big eye at the end. Those kinds of games used to haunt me very much, but now that I've broken the boundaries, it is time for me to settle this once for fucking all. I will beat this freaking game. Mark my words. So now it's time for level 3 and the damn Flame Lord. The level in itself is fairly easy as I don't have the crest to proceed to hidden places, so let's get to the boss. This battle is a very difficult one. You see, by the end of the game the bosses are surely harder, but you are equipped to face the challenge. Here, you are just helpless. Maybe I'm not following the right order, but I'm sure following the level numbers. So after like 30 tries, I finally beat it, and I got another piece of the Fire Crest. Wonderful. So now it's time to proceed to the next level, which seems a lot like an air level, but it's very easy to breeze through. And let's fight General Arma for a second time. So, after a fierce battle and several deaths, I was finally able to dispose of General Arma, and I got the Crest of Air at the same time. Wow, the first 3 levels are completed. I can't believe I am actually breezing through the famous game Demon's Crest. I heard so many gamers saying that Demon's Crest is a very hard game, and I'm actually doing pretty fine. Wow. And then we proceed to the other level, and it's another outstanding battle against a terribly looking demon. This one is not easy, but after several battles, it is already destroyed, and I gaze upon a cutscene. You see, I love the SNES, but it's not often that we see a cutscene like this in the middle of the game. And yeah, I always loved SNES, but I would have liked to see more cutscenes like this in other games. Just take Chrono Trigger for example. It is a very awesome game, and we see a lot of... What the fuck? The end? What? I haven't even saved yet. What the fuck? So I would have to just start over, hoping to get at the same point I was and just continue the game. What the fuck is this? Oh, I see, it's one of those games with multiple endings. Well, yeah, so it's nice to have multiple endings, but just be sure to give the player a way to save before getting to the actual ending. It's like I haven't saved, so I would have to just start over and get to the... What the fuck? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't want to nag a great game like this, but when you have to do all that you did all over again in order to proceed to more stages, I thought it was the middle of the game and I would unlock like more stages. What the fuck is this? Nah, fuck this, seriously. I'm using a password to continue where I was, like I should have done before. Just I should have calculated that would have an ending here, and I would have to die before getting the password, before getting to the ending. Fuck off, I'm not getting raped like in Ghosts and Goblins another time, so fuck you, Capcom. Anyway, after collecting some life in the previous level, you go back to this weird thing level and you proceed to the boss. And now that you've obtained the water crest, you go back to the town where you buy potions. You proceed to the left and you have some things to collect underwater. And now you go back to the Flame Lord level. With the air crest you can access a secret passage that you need to destroy with a headbutt from the normal gargoyle. And you will need the water crest to proceed and beat another boss. Then it is back again to Sunken Aqueduct because you need to explore with the water crest, and then you will have to beat a big fucking ass big fish, or I don't know what it's supposed to be, but you have to beat it and it is not easy. After collecting some life in the previous level, it is now time to go back to the ice level and fight the giant flying mantis. But once that you have the air crest, as we did, it is fairly easy. You'll dispose of the mantis right at once and you'll proceed through a dark place. After this, it is a fight again against General Arma for the third time, but with the air crest it is very easy as you can go to any altitude you want. You will dispose of him relatively easily depending on your skills, and you will obtain the Crest of Time, granting you double defense. Now it is time to go to the ice level, beat the fucking wolf, and complete the Fire Crest. Well, now all stages look complete, so let's proceed to the phalanx and see what kind of ending we'll get here. So let's proceed to the boss's tower, and after breezing through the level fairly easily, it is time to go with the time gargoyles and fight against the same boss than earlier. However, with your new powers, it is a totally different game. So let us beat his fucking ass. He will then flood the stage with a lot of water just for you to kick his ass again. Don't tell me that I have to do all the stages again and have all the crest to proceed to the good ending. Well, basically yes. It seems that you need every fucking power-ups except for the last crest, and then you can fight the final boss. So, let's use another password to continue where I fucking was, get all the damn power-ups, spells, and crest. So I looked every stages, found all things I needed except for the last crest, fought Phalanx again, beat him, and then whoa, he called the Demon Lords. And this guy is a ruthless opponent, my friends, seriously. But finally, after a lot of tries and a lot of beers, it is finally beaten. He then blows up, and shortly after, I behold another ending. Wow, they really gave everything they had into these cutscenes, but they are sure nice indeed to watch. Finally, after this cutscene, a password appears on the screen. I guess I have to enter this to beat the real boss at the end and to get the real ending. So, it is the last battle called the Dark Demon. This boss has two transformation stages, and he keeps on changing forms every 2 minutes or so. The tip here is to adjust to his upper body's height in order to hit right there in the first form, or to hit in the face when it's in the second form. So after a few tries, and again with the constant support of your beer bottle, you'll eventually triumph and you'll gaze upon the perfect ending. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching my show and just keeping me doing this. And I'd like to thank particularly my friend Germ that lent me his Super NES with his Demon's Crest, because my collection of game is currently at my parents' house because I'm living in residence. So a special thanks to Germ for giving me the opportunity to do a special Halloween episode. So thanks everybody. So see you later.